You remember the CUPS, that is Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services. They had been told not to open their portal for the applications and people to start making requests because they were still conversing on how to roll out the financing because they were more clear that they would change that. But when that second interim report was being delivered, I think the media records can bear us out because, again, any of us who've dared to ask for the blueprint of that second interim report did not necessarily get it. So the president at the time dismissed that second interim report. I think if you recall, because I'm saying some things are historical but recent history. Yeah. He actually said, this is not what I expected. But you can imagine that that was a presidential function where he was literally getting a feedback and a report that he was supposed to launch. And I think as Limubora, we constantly say at that particular moment we smelled a rat, and we actually called out that action because we said, I think there was some ping-pong politics being at play. He said that it was not possible that a president can arrive at a presidential function and dismiss an interim report, pretending that he had not known the content. We said, this one, there's some politics playing here. And at that particular moment, we started and continued to say, let us divorce politics from education. Because the moment you fuse this, then you do not know what the intentions are. But shortly after he dismissed, he called the media and said, now, this is the blueprint. Which blueprint is what caused the chaos that we saw? Some student, more than 23,000, it was more than 24,000, who qualified did not even bother to apply. Why? Because the costs were so exaggerated, so high. That's why I'm saying the public universities became more expensive than private universities. And indeed, as we speak, that has completely not changed. That's why you'll find the private universities are thriving. They have engaged even multiple streams and a number of intakes. And the public university is still struggling. The students and learners in those public universities are still struggling on how do they do this. So what you're saying that evidence should have led us into something. We asked what was that terribly wrong that required for a total departure from the framework established by the HELB Act, because at that point it is the Higher Education Loans Board Act, which was a legal instrument for funding university or higher education. We said, how could they not just then address the gaps within that and then fix it? But it was a total overhaul, and the total overhaul then met a lack of preparedness. Because the legal framework, among the things that the court agreed with, I don't have to get into that because the appellate process, I think everything is almost done and it is just the delivery of its decision soon. But the fact that some of the things which we were asking, how come the gaps which were there had not been seen and had not been sealed? What was actually wrong? How can the new system, which was now centered on the student, made the student to feel so overburdened? For example, I'll give you practical examples of what happened. Our public universities were straddled in debt. A lot of it.
Still are.
And they still are, but we indeed expected that the cure would be this model. But because that situation, they said it would change. But it hasn't changed. So probably Ndu and Dennis, for me, I said I'm taking the president on his word. Because I know it is possible that from the basic education level to the tertiary level, it is possible for Kenya to guarantee that. We are embracing that and firmly embedding it and trying to ensure it is coded within the legal instrument, because right now you're seeing there are still talks about, we are going to amend the HELB Act. Others, no, we are actually introducing the tertiary placement and funding bill, you know. But we want to see the concrete proposals. And indeed, I think because the president is our servant, when he makes pronouncements, let him make life a little bit easier for Kenyans. Not for politics or optics or for whatever it is. Because making it easier for us is that he should give us a document. The Constitution, Article 135, requires him to make that commitment. Any decision he makes and pronounces, it should be written. And so that then we can interrogate that and help him to improve it. But this one, we are taking him on his word. And we are saying, should that be implemented, we are able to protect it to ensure the right of every young person in this country.
But education funding